Hey, 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 what's going on with you in America? This is for all my fans that live here, but I realize we have fans that live also in London because of Amy's Fitness show. We have people that listen to the show regularly in London. We have people listen to the show regularly in Australia. And so we want to say, hey, hey, hey to everybody who's checking out the show. If you ever want to be on the show, you can. All you have to do is just send us a little message and say, hey, I want to be on your show, man. And then that way we can get you on. It's the best way to voice your opinion, speak your mind, your conjecture, your beliefs, convictions, conspiracy theories, you name it. We're all about that. So today I want to get off my chest. Oh, yeah, um, this thing about companies. Okay, companies have gone berserk, my friend. Like they are now starting to charge you for things that don't even make sense. Like, how is the phone company going to charge me if I come into their office and pay the bill that I owe them for the phone service that they give me? You feel me? Why are we paying sales tax, income tax, property tax? I mean, what is going on? Like, we're just literally walking money bags for these people to take advantage of. I signed up to get a membership extension or upgrade on Grok because I mess with AI. Okay, there I said it. Allegedly, yeah, I mess with AI. So what, right? So I get to sign up for this thing and I never even get the upgrade. All they did was charge me $30. Weeks went by. I'm using Grok and realizing that every time I want to do more work, it keeps stopping me and saying that I need a premium membership. I need a super Grok, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. On my bank statement, it says that I signed up for Super Grok and I got billed for Super Grok, but I don't get to get Super Grok, right? And can I call this company and find out why? Oh, of course not. No, there'll be none of that. And so all they're doing these days, these companies, is coming up with convenient loops of problems for us to have. They charge us. They even charge us now for customer service to talk to them about the problems that they created for us. Anyway, let me calm down.
Crazy.
All right, breathe, breathe. All right. If you want to talk about that on the show, we'd love to hear your opinion. The best way to get it off your chest is to come on and be a guest. Amen. Today, speaking of guests, I have a fabulous newcomer who has a unique name that I am not going to butcher in the intro. So I'm going to let her introduce herself and what she wants to be called. And then you will find me kind of working that into the conversation as if I knew how to say it from the very beginning. Welcome to the show. Your name?
Tida Siribongkot.
All that. Tita, I I want to ask you first now, where is that name from? Because that's not a typical name like Jenny Jones. Like that name makes you actually work your tongue a little bit.
That's for sure. Well, people who are international travelers will know that the long last name pretty much gives it away. I am Thai. That's
Oh,
very prominent in our culture. The longer the name, the more opulent and extravagant and royal you are. And for my culture, my name is actually pretty short. So,
wow. And so have you been to Thailand? That's what they call it, right? Thailand?
indeed, indeed. I
Wow.
am from Thailand. I am Thai and I speak Thai.
Mm,
People I've interacted with are like, "Oh, so you're from Taiwan and you speak Taiwanese." And I'm like, "No, but
no.
I it's
No.
okay. The best way to defeat ignorance is education. So that is what I'm here for." But yeah, I have been to Thailand a few times. My most recent visit was in September of last year.
Nice. And what you said was accurate, the best way to defeat ignorance. Yeah, although it did sound a little snooty, but when I thought
Well,
about it, it's true what you said. It is absolutely true. And for my Americans, Thailand is a TH spelling and
correct.
Taiwan is a TAI spelling. Aside from that, there's good food in both, although I prefer
Indeed.
Thailand myself personally.
Well,
That's me.
yes, exactly. Different strokes, different folks. And
Exactly.
all I'm saying is we're in different parts of Asia and people commonly mistake the two, and that's totally fine.
Right. And do you get any special perks being from Asia? Like, do people like, oh, hey, you're Asian, here's a bank account? Like, do you get any like goodies just from being Asian?
Uh, Man, I wish, but we all have different privileges, whether you're a man or a pretty woman or
Mm.
come from different parts of the world. And I think that we should all be proud of those privileges, not take advantage of them. But sure, I mean, I could get my dual citizenship. I am full Thai, first generation born American, though.
Wow.
So that's a perk, I suppose. And amongst many other things that I do, I'm a naked sushi model. So it definitely helps that I'm Asian. It gives the allure, even though sushi comes from Japan. But surface level, I'm Asian, so that's really all that matters, I guess, right?
Well, and you brought up a couple of things that we have to address. So, number one, I was going to be a naked sushi model, but no, that's not going to happen. And you're not even supposed to laugh at that right away. That's just
Oh,
terrible that
sorry,
you
sorry.
immediately found humor in that. But anyway,
Hmm.
the other thing is you fall into a certain sexual fetish category.
Indeed, I
Like the
do.
black bald man, the BBW, the foot
Right.
lover fetish. So the Asian woman automatically, I'm sure you get hit on and hit upon. What's the most interesting ones in recent memory that you want to share with us?
I mean, I think it's all interesting that usually people want to use that as a conversation starter to begin with.
Right.
Um, I find it intriguing the things that people choose to pinpoint to start conversation. I mean, there's plenty of things you could say to approach someone, but using the appearance of someone, I think is a pretty low hit in general. It just
Yes.
automatically kind of
Yes.
deters me from wanting to even entertain that conversation just because it's like, well, that's where we're at. And, I kind of detest or loathe when someone brings up my ethnicity and then goes, that you're exotic. And I'm like, listen, I'm not a car. But yes, sure. There are plenty of things that make me different and alternative to what you would normally think a beauty standard is. But thank you for the sentiment. I appreciate it.
when we used to do shows like in the mid '90s, I was playing around in LA and also sometimes in Nashville. White women would always come up, not always, but on occasion, white women would come up and they would open a conversation with me and they'd be like, I just love black bald men. And to me, nothing turned my stomach faster than that. And I don't even care if it was an
Mhm,
attractive woman. Like, dude, I'm
mhm,
not here to be your number 101, 305. Like, there's more to me than that. And I know it sounds a little bit entitled and a little whatever, but it's true. Like, if you can only see me for everything that I am and everything that I do and
right,
represent, and all you see is a bald head and a black body,
right.
come on, dog. You're missing all the elements that make Ace awesome.
And And you are absolutely entitled to feel that way because essentially everybody's human and has a unique human experience and thing to contribute to the human experience. And I feel like it's just objectifying and a little bit degrading to just be dwindled down to just like what people see on the surface. And that's totally normal, and I understand that. But if someone were to approach me talking a little bit more in depth about maybe skill sets or wanting to know who I actually was, that would just be a little bit more engaging for me as a person. So it's a preference thing for sure. And I can appreciate the sentiment of someone wanting to compliment you and just let you know that you make them feel a certain way. That in and of itself is a compliment. But for me to want to continue to engage with that said person, it just has to be a little bit more than just like, oh, you're exotic and you're pretty. And it's like, okay, well, thank you so much.
Well, now since you are also a good-looking cookie in the bag, how does that work for your professional life? Because when you say that you have to be fit to do the work that you do, attractiveness doesn't hurt. I guess you don't have to be attractive, but I've never seen anybody really climb to a level of success in your industry that wasn't attractive. Have you?
Absolutely. I mean, there have been a few, but then with the right team behind them, you lose a little bit of weight, you get some cosmetic surgery, you get prescribed some Ozempic, and all of a sudden you're a
Mm.
brand new face with the same old talent. And that's the reality of the industry, unfortunately. But the thing is like once you know the rules, you can break them. And I've come to find, like, first of all, um, let me just say, I didn't grow up looking the way that I did. I was not the prettiest or sharpest crayon in the bunch. Let's just say that. And
Hmm.
so, with that being said, I had to kind of come from a place of humor and have kind of like a work on my personality, so to speak. And I'm blessed and thankful that as I grew up, my looks have adjusted to my inner beauty, let's say. And so that has definitely given me some advantages and privileges that I am not going to deny. However, I know this about myself. And so I've worked very hard on a lot of my skill sets. I DJ, I stilt, I do aerial, and the list goes on. Um, because I would like my skill, I would, people come for my looks, but people stay for my skill set. And that's how I would like to keep it because your looks can only get you so far. And just like anything else in life, the only thing that you are promised is to age and to become just, you look different with time. And but the thing is, if you have skills, you can maintain those skills for your whole life, and that speaks, I think, louder than just the way that you look.
Do you ever feel that you get taken, not advantage of, but we want to say like underestimated is probably a better way to put it, because of your looks? And if so, what do you think is the one main thing that you get overestimated or underestimated about? People think you can't do the job because you're too short, or because you're too this, or because you're so pretty you can't possibly be smart.
I mean, honestly, that's been my whole entire life, and I think that that is what now my purpose is and how I move in the world is to be a walking paradox because you know, from the outside looking in, you can make all these assumptions, and not just about me, but about everybody.
Hmm.
But I think the beauty of inquiring and going further than just surface level is seeing the possibilities of what you don't know. And that's why I love to be bright and obnoxious and kind of get people's attention, but so for the right reasons. Because then once you kind of get to know me, my art, I am not anything what you would have thought of when you first laid your eyes on me or asked me about like my name.
Hmm.
So I think it's important to keep people on their toes and prove people wrong, just for the sake of opening people's minds and having them understand that not everything is what it seems. And if I can do that with just the spark of getting to know me, then that can translate into other people's perspective on trying to get to know themselves and the rest of the world.
And so it's Tita, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, because for some reason, whenever I think of saying your name, I want to say Tilda, and then my other voice goes, "That's not right, though. Don't say that. That's not her
Yes.
name."
Yes. I mean, it's Tilda, but without the L.
Right, exactly. Without the that whole L sound too. So Tita, it is a game in the industry. It's very competitive. It's all about who's going to get the role, who's not going to get called back. And it hurts not to get the role. It hurts not to get called back. But you're doing pretty well for yourself. Is there something that you would say, like, the reason I'm successful is more because of prayer, more because of being in the right place at the right time, more because following the directions that I was given? Like, what do you attribute your own success to the most?
I would say none of those things,
Hmm.
and maybe a little bit of all of those things. I think having a foundation of yourself and why you're doing what you're doing, it makes the rest of the outside chaos a little bit less important. And when you have a strong foundation of what you're doing, and for me, that's to be an artist and to connect with my audience and to show people that I'm just some girl and I'm doing what I love to do every single day because I refuse to listen to what people thought was best for me, but I trusted my intuition and and faced all of the things that people told me I should be afraid of head on.
Hmm.
um, like that's what got me here today, and it's because of, I tell a lot of my close family and friends, toxic tenacity. I just don't know when to stop. And it's important to trust yourself and to do what feels good, because the moment you are misaligned with the things that you're doing, that's when you don't feel good. And if you don't feel good, you don't look good. And you have to really, truly believe in the product that you're selling for other people to buy it. But that starts with understanding why you're trying to sell it, and having a strong foundation of what you're trying to sell.
Hmm. And what is it that you're trying to sell? What is your main thing walking in the door that you want people to know about you is your strength?
I mean, I think, that's kind of a tricky wording, because I'm not trying to sell me, because no one can ever really get to know me unless you sit down and have a conversation with me. What I'm trying to sell is almost a fantasy, but also for people to understand that you don't have to just plan one weekend or one week out of your life to create a fantasy or a life that resembles your fantasy. Like, I want people to understand that you can wake up every single day and pursue what you love, um, and that doesn't have to be in a movie. Like, you can really, like, create the power in your own life by just doing it, whether you're afraid to do it or not. And I just want to show people that you don't have to be afraid to pursue what you want to do. So that's what I'm trying to sell. And whether it be packaged in a fantasy or a moment or an experience, hopefully that rubs off on the right people, and then they can see, like, you know what, if she can do it, so can I.
And that's a healthy philosophy to have. Now, in the last couple of years, social media has taken a real precedence, front row seat in how artists promote themselves, and AI has taken an even bigger seat at the table, if you will. How has AI and social media helped you more or hurt you more in the career that you're trying to pursue?
That is a great question. It definitely has done both. But just with anything in life, there's balance, and you can't have the good without the bad. And I really feel like AI has helped me become a one woman production, because I don't use AI to complete any tasks, but I definitely use AI tools to help me finish things. Like, say, I don't use AIs to produce like full flyers, but what I do use AI for is to like clean up images that I went and collaborated with other artists or a photographer, and we took the time and the effort and the energy to go on location to create these images, and then I put all of these things together in my knowledge of what, graphics and marketing should look like. So I would not be able to go to school for 4 or 5, however many years, to learn how to do these things. Thankfully, there are applications and things that you can invest your time in, or your money in, to cut the time to create these things. Now, granted, yeah, I'm taking away from other graphic designers and this, that, and the other, but as an independent artist, it's difficult for me to invest monetarily in things that are just very short-term goals, like flyer creation or content creation. And sure, in the grand scheme of things, these are all things that help me get to where I need to be. But if I can cut my investment by doing this all myself, then I reap more benefit and reward in the long run, because I didn't have to invest so much in the beginning. However, I have been met with an impasse recently of, like, there's a lot of these really beautiful pictures and things that I've created with photographers that
Hmm.
I've been very apprehensive about posting, because a lot of it, I get comments where people are like, this is AI. And I'm like, absolutely, none of this is AI. I don't even like when my photographers use Photoshop on me. Like,
Hmm.
these are things, like, I drove 2 hours on location to go to some sand dune, stand out in the heat for 6 to 8 hours, do 4 costume changes, wait for the sunlight to hit certain parts of the sky, have my photographers, like, take pictures that work, that don't needed to get their composition right, and there is a lot of work that you don't see to
Right,
create this one image, and for you to sit here and be like, oh, this is AI, is insulting to me.
right.
So, those are the two faces of that coin. So I can't say I fully hate AI, but I can't say that I can appreciate it either.
I'm glad that you said that. I just had a conversation with a gentleman. He's a guitar player that wants to work with me, and I sent him a list of songs to learn that are my originals, and then I sent him a demo link that has the same songs charted out, orchestrated, and arranged with AI. So he hit me back and he goes, "Hey, I may have gotten the wrong YouTube channel, but this channel that you sent me is just all AI tracks." He goes, "And as a musician, I wouldn't feel comfortable working with these tracks. I mean, when you want to learn how to write songs, get back in touch with me, and I'd be interested in having a conversation then. But basically, right now, I wouldn't want to do any AI related music." And I thought, well, first off, there were physical things I wanted to do to him after he said that, but that's another thing. But I
Hmm.
thought, this is the song. Like, just because the song, I wrote it, I charted it, I arranged it, and just because I had AI make me a demo of it, as opposed to going in a studio with $10,000 worth of investment for musicians, it doesn't make me less of a songwriter because I used AI to make a demo, right?
Absolutely not. You just were trying to be more efficient in your process.
Very much so more efficient because the price that it takes to do these things otherwise, oh my God, the studio time, the engineer, the mixing, the
All of it.
editing, the
Absolutely.
mastering, and you still
Hmm.
have no idea if it's going to become anything. You're
Be
just
good.
doing all
Yeah.
this stuff, right? So I thought that, and I didn't get into it with him, but after we got off the phone, I thought, he's probably going to change his tune. I would give it maybe a year, if it takes that long, because he's going to run into more and more people that are using these tools for their advantage. And that calls to mind everything. I mean, 10 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago, it was Photoshop. And all
Hmm.
these models were complaining, oh, that's been Photoshop. That's not really you. And now there's so much Photoshop, we literally would be hard pressed to find the difference on any photo. It's even automatically photoshopped. They sell
Hmm.
cameras now, by the way. You can go to Best Buy if that's where you're going to shop for a camera. You can go to Best Buy and actually buy a camera that has AI built in the camera. So you can take a picture and then tell the camera, well, make this be taken at the beach on a sunny day with wind blowing in her hair and blah, blah, blah. And it will literally change the picture in the camera. So no one even will ever know that you're not a great photographer, you're not a great sound recordist, you're not a great film director. When you can use these tools and you can create within just from one image, you can create a whole music video in 5 minutes.
Sure. And I think context is very important too in these types of situations because you're an independent artist, as am I. We don't have this whole big team, say like Justin Bieber or Katy Perry or Taylor Swift, where there's investments and people that have their lanes and they stay in it. When you are an all-encompassing like production company, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
if that's what you want to call it, you have to figure out ways to minimize your investing but maximize your return. And you know, it's a tool and I want to keep it like that. Now, if you are a huge company and you're using, say, I guess like self-checkout and you want to get rid of all of the cashiers, there's a difference in that because it's like you have the money and the ability to help invest into your community by providing jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And, I find that where you use AI is important. Do you want to continue to give money to places like Target, Walmart, conglomerate companies that are literally taking over the world and be okay with that because it's more convenient for you? Or do you want to support a local artist that is doing the best that they can and they're trying to make it more convenient for them so that you can also enjoy the fruits of their labor, but yet people don't want to pay the people that they know to go to their shows and to, promote their work on, even if it's free to on social media, because they have this whole holier than thou view of, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. And it's like, well, as far as I'm concerned, you went to Walmart yesterday and bought a bunch of things that you could have bought somewhere else and then given your money to somewhere else. And
Mm.
money is power, unfortunately. That's where we're at. And, I think it's just important, like I said, context dependent of where you project your energy and your money towards.
Right. And here's the thing too, like, I'll never be president that I know of. I don't have no desire to be president anyway. But even if I were, right?
Mhm.
I think that we could very easily pass a law that says, look, a certain percentage of money that these AI companies are generating, since they are creating a jobless society, maybe there needs to be a fund set aside where humans can use that money to just go have fun. Maybe we can go to the moon now because we can use the money that we make from the AI to do things that enrich our lives in other ways. What do you think of that? Do I have
You
your
know,
vote?
I mean, but the thing is they don't make money off of happy, healthy people. So of course you got my vote. That makes all the sense in the world in theory, but practicality, like that's not how people become rich and powerful. So that'll never happen, unfortunately. But of course one could dream. Yes, absolutely.
Right. And in the sense of that dreaming, so what is your ultimate goal with all of this? Like, are you looking at you want to get to a point and change the world, be a humanitarian? Are you looking at bling, bling, fame, fortune? Like, what is your ultimate goal provided this all works out?
You know, in the last year or so have really shifted my philosophy of what I'm doing. Um, And I mean, it's always been the fact that I would love to inspire people and to give people back their power and to make people feel empowered by what they choose to do with their time because time is the most valuable thing, the most valuable asset we have, and you can only spend it, you cannot save it.
Mm,
However, I feel as though what has shifted in my narrative is the fact that I don't really have goals. And I think in our hustle capitalistic society, people would look at that and say, well, you seem complacent or da 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 da. It's not good to not have goals. The thing is, for me, what I've changed a lot is I have standards. My standards do not change. They only get better as I grow to learn about who I am and what I want for myself, but they do not change. You have to meet a certain standard, and your goals are forever shifting and changing. And honestly, the higher your expectation of something is, the harder the fall. So I'm trying to negate being disappointed. It's a crappy feeling. Nobody wants to feel that way. Um, and the thing is, if you just don't have too high of expectations, you don't get disappointed. You can appreciate where you're at and what you're doing and the things that have worked out for yourself and let go of the things that you are weren't really expecting to be a part of your wheelhouse in terms of like what you're striving for. So it's a tough question to answer because I don't necessarily have any goals per se, but I do have a standard. And my standard of living is to create community, cultivate connection in a world that everybody's feeling so lonely and just unfulfilled.
mm.
Even though we have all these conveniences and technologies at our fingertips, I just, right now, I feel like more than ever, people just need to feel understood and connected. And it's really, really difficult because we have such a shallow way of showing that through social media and these really quick, shallow interactions that are very much opportunistic. So that is my, I guess, if you want to use the word goal, is to show people that you have to dig deeper. You have to be able to look at someone in their eyes and just have a conversation with them and ask why or why not, and that's what I'm striving for, is to just create more connection.
Wow. That was a strong answer. Very nice. What would you consider to be your legacy, intention legacy? What are you going to leave as your legacy, in your opinion?
Just the same thing. And I can continue to just reiterate that, is the fact that we need each other. That's human nature. Having these cell phones and computers, and that is a modern society, and we are traditionally wired people. um, and we need to get back to the basics. Go to shows, feel the energy of the room, make eye contact with people, sit down, have conversations with people, say hello to strangers, smile at people. Like, these are things that we just take for granted and don't practice anymore. And like,
Hmm.
you could literally look at someone and someone will take it the wrong way. And it's like, why are you looking at me? Take a picture, it lasts longer. It's like, what's wrong with like just taking in your environment and appreciating the beauty around you? It's not all negative. Like, and I think we've all been just wired and created from a place of pain and trauma, and that is totally it's relatable, it's understandable. I get it. This is a hard world. It's a cold world, but we need to soften up. And I think at least for me, my message and how I get that across is through art, and that's all I can continue to do is just show people you don't have to be scared to express yourself. If anything, walk towards your fears and just continue to change the status quo.
That's really impressive. Have you had a person come up to you in recent history or any history that said to you, you know what, your performance changed my life, or your performance taught me something, or took me to a level where now, because of you, I'm going to make some different decisions?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because like I said before, I'm an artist. You know how difficult it is. And not only am I an artist, but I'm an artist that lives by myself, that has a lot of bills to pay. And in society's eyes, an artist is somebody that, typically lives in their mother's basement
Mhm.
and goes nowhere. And so I've been met with those moments where I'm like, what am I doing? If I can take a traditional path and have stability in my life and not worry about where my next income or paycheck is coming from, wouldn't that make my life so much easier?
Hmm.
And in those moments of darkness and doubt, I've had the people exactly when I needed them to come up to me and say, you really changed the trajectory of how I feel.
Hmm.
And in being able to do that, they've slowly taken steps to find the power within themselves to just even take a dance class. Maybe it doesn't result in anything. Maybe there is no beneficial like monetary gain from it, but they are one step closer to finding something that makes them feel good. And that for me is my life's purpose, is to continue to help people find their inner strength to just do what they love and do it unapologetically. And I have been met with those moments several times in my life where I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? I shouldn't be doing this. I could just, it's never too late to go to school and to try and learn how to do something new. But then I have those moments of realization and those moments of bringing myself back to, okay, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm doing this. And if I can continue to just touch one more person in that way, I will stay on this path.
Yeah, and that's tough to do in this era. Society teaches you, it teaches all of us that we have to validate our goals. Our dreams have to be able to be laid on the table where we can say, well, see, because I wrote a song, I bought a house. Because I got publishing, I have a car. I have new clothing. I have makeup. I have all of these things. And when you don't have these things, then it's really hard to justify. Not saying that you have to justify, but it does become harder to be in a room full of previous classmates and be like, well, me, I'm still living in a single apartment. Like, I don't really have a big to do. Whereas the other people that maybe went to the same school, they're like, oh, well, now we're married. We've got 3 kids. We've got an IRA. We've got this. We've got this. We've got this. But what things matter the most? Who you are or what you have? Really?
I mean, yeah, that's a great point. And I was just watching or listening to a podcast today, and he had definitely
What?
touched on that. Yeah, he's like being identified and having an identity are two different things. And that really resonated with me because when you are being identified, that is a label that people put on you. But when you have an identity, those are things like your morals, your ethics, your standards that you give yourself, and those are not wavering. But
Hmm.
in terms of how people view you and your success, that is an identification and usually a projection of those people around you of like, well, if you haven't reached this goalpost or that goalpost, and honestly, like the institutions that were built by my parents, your parents, like they just are not working anymore. We don't just go to college, get a piece of paper, have a family, have a picket white fence, and the
Hmm.
end. Like that's not our society and our reality anymore. It just that doesn't work. So to have these other mile markers that people put on you, you have to be able to not take it personally and also look at these people and say, the things that they have in their life, is that what I want?
Hmm.
And if it's not, then why are you even listening to what these people have to say?
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm. Because let's keep in mind, it can, I mean, if you agree, it can change at any time, by the way. Like just
Absolutely.
because everybody, think about this. Okay, what we say, would it be fair to say 60 years ago, 65 or so years ago, maybe longer, let's say 75, just to be fair. 75 years ago, there were 2 million Nazis. Like there were
Hmm.
videos of Adolf Hitler giving a speech, and the whole football field was full of Nazis. Now, where's all
Hmm.
those Nazis? So you would never say, oh my gosh, the world is always going to be full of Nazis, because apparently it's not. Apparently, the world is not always going to be full of humpback whales or bees, right? So everything keeps evolving, keeps evolving, keeps evolving. And if you're trying to hold on to those ideas from the past, well, good luck with that. But
Hmm.
those ideas are going to change because the people are going to change.
Absolutely.
The bar is going to be set higher for an actor in the era of AI than the bar was set back in 20 years ago. Now you
Absolutely.
have to be able to work with a green screen, or else you're really going to have problems working in this industry in general, because that's where things are at now.
Right.
You know, what is going to be the thing that you're going to strive to bring forth and change the world?
Authenticity, unapologetically just doing what you love. I strongly believe that as long as you're not hurting anybody, there's nothing wrong with the things that you want, you know? And I feel like people, it's not about like in a whole spiritual sense, people are like, I need to find myself. And that's a lot of when they make this shift, this paradigm shift in their life where they're like, I'm not happy. I need to find myself. And I don't really necessarily agree with that statement. I think it's more a matter of building yourself than finding yourself.
Hmm.
And it gives you so much more space to explore and to not limit yourself to having an identity that you need to strive for, you know? And I think my goal is to just change people's perspective on the human experience, to have fun with it. I mean, you only live for so long, and you know, this earth has been around for millions and billions and trillions of years. You are nothing but a blip in time.
Hmm.
And you might as well have fun and not feel shame of who you really are. And, you know, of course, shame is a healthy emotion to have. That's how you create, I guess, structure in chaos. Because if we were left to our own devices, it would get pretty chaotic. So, again, like everything that I say, there's always two sides of everything. And it's not, I really do believe in balance. I really do believe if you go one direction too hard or the other, that's where the imbalance is created and that's where chaos is created. But I feel like, yes, have some shame. You shouldn't be doing certain things. You shouldn't be treating people certain ways. You shouldn't be bringing harm onto others. If that's your true nature, you really need to check yourself and figure that out and see where that comes from.
Hmm.
But if you want to be playful, you want to be silly, you want to express yourself, you want to be obnoxious, you want to be extra, do it. Why shouldn't you? We only have one life to live. Wear those silly pair of pants. Wear your hair all crazy. Be loud. Laugh loudly. Don't be You don't have to apologize for being yourself. So that's what I want to leave with people is to just, you know, follow your heart, trust your intuition. You are so much more capable than you really think you are. And I'm just some girl, and I was able to discover this through a lot of hardships and a lot of turmoil and pain. And sometimes the only way to it is through it. But like if I can help people cut the time in between of which they need to learn these lessons for themselves, that's what I'm here for.
Amen to that. I can't close the show on a stronger note than that. Tita, tell us again all of your special skills, dancing, your singing. Give us around DJing.
Yeah, I'm a circus artist. I do aerial. I breathe and eat fire and dance with fire, hula hoops, whip cracking, stilting. I'm a mermaid. I DJ. I have a residency every Monday and Wednesday at the Phoenix, and I am now starting to venture into singing, and thank you so much for giving me that opportunity and that platform, Ace, to explore that side of myself. And I am a naked sushi model. I am a model. Um, I am a costume designer, you know what? I'm a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I am Tida, and it is very, very nice to meet you all.
And yeah, and at the end of that list, I almost half expected you to say, and I'm also a little teapot, short and stout.
And
Here is my
yes,
gift.
I am.
Well, listen, and how do we pleasantly stalk you? We want to follow you on social media. Where do we go?
Please do, please do. Or I'm sorry, at Hypnotizing Hippie. You can find me on all platforms except for TikTok. I do not use TikTok, so if you see me on there, it probably isn't me. But Hypnotizing, Hypnotizing, Hippie, Hippie. And you can find me Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all the places. And in the links of my bios, I have a full schedule of when and where I'm going to be. I do that all entirely myself. It kind of covers the whole month of like my events and performances that I'll be doing. I teach as well. I teach belly dancing, pole dancing, heels, go-go dancing, and you
Wow.
can find that list of things that I teach on there as well.
That is awesome. And I'm glad that you spelled out the hypnotizing because we are Americans. So we needed that big
Indeed,
time.
indeed, and hippie is also important because I know that there's more than one spelling for that, but I am IE at the end, not the Y.
Gotcha. All right. So that is what's up today. Thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate you
Yes,
big
sir.
time. And you guys go ahead and follow, share, like, subscribe, do all that social media stuff. And it's the end of the show. So you know what I say at the end of the show, and I still mean it. Live the life you love and love the life you live. Thank you.